Grand Hogos, everybody. Big shout out to Planet Venus, Hagiel, Kedamel, and Beni Seraphim for my planetary folk out there who know what I'm speaking about. Today, I'm going to be getting into the topic of acceptance. That is step 2 of shadow work. And for me, acceptance is the key to inner peace. Why is it the key to inner peace? Because when we learn to respond to life a little bit differently rather than to immediately react, be triggered, and lose our shit, so to speak, because it's something that's completely out of our control, something that we can't get a grasp on, rather than flowing with it, we try to fight it. Now, an analogy that I like to use when I'm talking to people face to face, when I'm in person working with people, is think about a body of water flowing naturally in the elements. Now, despite all odds, the water can start here, and its objective is to get over here. But say there's like a mountain in the way, boulders, rocks, beavers are building dams. No matter what obstacle seems to stand in the way of water, which is why it's one of my favorite elements. I myself, my physical body naturally is a water element base. It always gets to where it needs to go. It just might have a few hiccups, so to speak, along the way. It's like the universe delivering us lessons through Saturn via karma, dharma, whatever spectrum you stand on when it's being brought into your life. So when we experience tribulations, we, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, depending on where you're at in your healing process, our immediate reaction is to be triggered. We're going to respond negatively towards it. Oh my God, this is terrible. Why is this happening to me? Why is everything going wrong? And in the grand scheme of things, after all is said and done and everything's cleared, and you're still alive, you're still breathing, you got to where you may have needed to get to, depending on the situation or the circumstance. Obviously, if you commit murder, you're going to go to jail. You're not going to get around that. But no matter what goes on in your life, you always end up waking up another day. So one thing that I find with people is not many people ever take situations they have overcome. Getting picked on in school, graduating college, finishing school. Nobody ever seems to look at their small victories, their midterm victories, achieving goals, overcoming some kind of adversity, personal growth. These small little wins, like, they equal up, they stack up. If I take one piece of paper, that one piece of paper is going to be minuscule in comparison to a stack of paper. So if I keep taking one piece of paper at a time and I build it up slowly and slowly and slowly, it's eventually going to become a giant pile of paper. You see where I'm going with this? So instead of being triggered with life and having that woe is me, doom is gloom, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, why is it always me, why is it this, why is it that? For me, it was stopping and pausing and becoming present in my life, identifying the actions I could have taken that may have led up to this situation, interactions I might have indulged in with people, the saying, guilty by association. Sometimes you don't always do something wrong. Sometimes you're targeted just because people don't like you, because you have something other people want and they can't have it. So you become an immediate target. So your interaction with them would cause a trigger in their life to attack you, and then you would have a ton of obstacles based off of their bitterness, their jealousy, their need to try to take you down, so to speak. And your actions that led to that was indulging with that character or actor, we'll say, in life. And when we're able to actively identify our cause into the law of cause and effect, I'll get into that a lot later. I have been coming up with all kinds of ideas and just different things that I'm going to break down that kind of combine almost all paths into one ultimately. I don't favor one over the other. I choose the middle ground. For me, duality is a big thing, and cause and effect, the laws of cause and effect kind of run together with me in life. So I kind of like to follow anything that correlates with that, which is a lot. So anyways, I digress. When we're able to actively identify our actions day to day, and we can take accountability for what we did leading up to those actions, like even if it's like for me, I used to not be able to have relationships with women. I used to be a huge narcissist. They were basically a walking hole for me to have fun with, and I did not give a shit about what was going on up here. Now, obviously, times have changed. I value my relationships with people. I am able to maintain platonic relationships with women. I am able to be respectful, courteous, and I can actually have regular conversations without making like innuendos nonstop. I basically was Quagmire in my own weird, fucked up little way. Anyways, when I was able to actively identify what I was doing, I can accept that I was doing something wrong, and instead of letting it bother me and projecting that onto other people because, oh, these people are giving me a hard time, I can't believe this is going on, I can't believe this, that, and the third, I was able to accept responsibility within myself. I was able to accept that I may have done something to cause a chain reaction, a domino effect, if you will. I was able to accept that other people had emotions with it, so not only was I considering my emotions, I included what is called emotional intelligence. I tried to observe from all angles. And I was able to move forward because once I was able to identify my part and participation in whatever tribulation it was, if you will. Well, I'll stick with my narcissism. I was able to identify when I had my head up my ass so far. I thought it was God's gift to earth, and you know, I just had this crazy outlook. My thought process was very messed up and skewed. I wasn't human, I guess you could say. I was like robotic into whatever bullshit was fed down my throat, and I was just regurgitating it on everybody else and making it everyone else's problem while having absolutely no accountability within myself whatsoever. So once I was able to do so, I can finally acknowledge the shit and the bad. I was able to acknowledge and accept the bad and the ugly for what it was, and I was able to identify that there was good to come from it if I make the right choices and I take the right actions and I accept my part in it and I accept that I did do something or something is wrong, and I accept that I can move forward from this because it does not identify me at all whatsoever. See, people get mad when you change. People that are stuck don't like to see growth. So when you hear people saying, oh, you change, oh, you're not the same, you're completely different, it's because they themselves are having issues moving forward because they're not ready to take accountability, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to grow at the same time. That's like, you know, saying, well, I need to do this by a certain age, and I need to be married by a certain age, and I need to have kids by a certain age. None of that is true. Everybody walks their path in their own right time. Everybody comes to maturity, I guess. Not everybody matures though. Let me not divert too far, because a lot of people don't give a shit. They are so stuck in their ways that they do not want to change. But for those that do, everybody walks a different path. Change is a good thing. Change is very beneficial. Change can be productive. It can be enlightening. It could be a beautiful ascension if you allow it to be. And if you're ready to accept things for what they are, instead of trying to make it what you want them to be, and you accept them as they come, and you flow with it like water, I promise you, life just unravels in the most peculiar of ways. I hope that you guys enjoyed this touch up on the topic of acceptance. I'll see you again for step 3.